Hello viewers, and welcome to my short video on micro-learning environment design as part of my ED course. Now for my MicroLED I have chosen a tutorial class from MM101 Engineering Graphics and Design, and this course is a core Bachelor of Engineering course which is undertaken by students in the first semester of their first year. So this course has 5 learning outcomes, and for this tutorial we focus on solving engineering problems using formalized design process. So the importance of this tutorial class is that the students are made aware, or they are given a brief idea of their design project which they are required to undertake, as well as oral submission related to their design project, which carries a total of 29% towards their coursework. And by attempting these tutorial problems, they are given a brief idea as to how the design process is carried out and how they can apply it to their grouped project. So as part of the lesson learning outcome for this tutorial, number 1 is the student should be able to identify the 6 steps of their engineering design process, and secondly, apply those 6 steps to design and sketch an electronic vehicle as a team. So students themselves, they have assigned groups or made groups where they will be attempting their design project throughout the semester, and they will be put in those groups and required to solve this problem. And the third aspect of the lesson learning outcome is, this is something extra which I have added to the tutorial, is once they have attempted the tutorial problem, they will be asked as a group to present the features of their design which satisfy the needs assessment. Now the design attributes of this teaching plan. Number 1 is the audience. Obviously they are first year Bachelor of Engineering students, so this topic is new to them, of designing. And here the level of teaching complexity should be kept simple, and so that students are able to keep up with the class. Secondly, the objective and the learning outcomes should be well defined to the students, so that they are aware what is the purpose of this tutorial class. As I always like to point out to engineering students, that they should be aware of what they are learning and what is its importance, especially when it comes to engineering. And the content, so this will be also hitting on the students' prior knowledge which they have attained in lectures related to their engineering design process, and by attempting, as I said previously, the students should be able to relate to their chosen group design projects. The delivery method, so almost all the classrooms are equipped with multimedia technology, so this could be useful in referencing and reviewing lecture materials and giving additional examples as to some designs which have been born out of these 6 design processes, such as the most common one I'd like to give, which is available in the classroom, is a ceiling fan. Now we are very much oblivious to the presence of a moving object on top of our heads, the reason being because we feel safe that whoever designed the fan and then finally put it into production and mounted it has taken all necessary steps and care in doing so. And then finally, the time bound, so students first should be introduced to the tutorial problem and then encouraged to carry out self-directed learning in terms of their team or their group, and then given time to out an oral presentation within 50 minutes. Now moving on to the teaching plan. Firstly, so as I mentioned earlier, students have already formed a group. Normally I'd like to call it a team activity. So they will be, as soon as the facilitator or the teacher enters the classroom, they will be asked to move around and quickly settle in their respective groups for this tutorial class, and introduce the lesson learning outcome and so which gives direction to the tutorial activity. And so to reinforce whatever will be covered in the tutorial activity, just briefly recap this engineering design steps covered in class, and moving on and discuss the tutorial problem with respect to the 6 steps of the engineering design process. So in this tutorial problem, there's a person who has requested. So what I'd like to do is set up a scenario where each group, you imagine that you are running a design company, and then you are being approached by a person to design an electronic vehicle for their mall. So there's a budget given, and this design specifications are given that it should be small enough to fit in an elevator, and there should be a cart to carry a certain amount of groceries, and it should be easy for the operator, and so and so. So now you students use this as after the scenario is set, then we move into the steps where students identify the problem, and as they are identifying the problem here, in the problem in this case is the design criteria, then they are building up some ideas in their mind as to how this electronic vehicle might look like, what features it would have. And the next step, the third step, is preliminary design, where they put their ideas on paper. It could be in terms of sketches or drawings or bullet points, and then as a team, all the ideas, they collect the ideas and refine it into one single drawing, which includes their final design, and then they analyze their design, and finally they are asked to present it. So we do not really focus on the implementation aspect in this course. Moving ahead, then after discussing the tutorial problem, students are then allowed time to go over their ideas, preliminary ideas, put their ideas on paper, and then they are being told that they need to come up with a solution which they will be later on presenting. So then you will see that students are busy in their respective teams, sketching down ideas and then trying to come up with the best solution. And then finally, each group is given just 5 minutes, and this is very important, that each member is given time to explain some aspect of their design. And trying the whole idea here is that they should be able to explain what makes the design the best, and that this should be used as the final design of the electronic vehicle. And this forms part of a formative assessment, where as well as open question and answers are encouraged within the classroom environment, as well as the facilitator or the teacher also provides feedback. So that's the end of my MicroLED, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I have in explaining about it, and I look forward to your feedback. Thank you very much.